Practice. What was his message?
Yeah, just some of the chippiness and some of the post play things that might be going on, offense and defensively. So just the message is practice smarter. Always have that team first mentality, and obviously everybody's out there competing, and football is a very violent sport. A lot of things go on, but just to have that mindset, we're taking care of each other in practice.
You want physicality, obviously, and that's the game. But where does it cross the line? Where does it go to?
Yeah, that's a hard thing to gauge. But I think in practice, anytime you get stuff, post whistle, post play, or stuff that just seems kind of unnecessary, I think that's when it crosses the line. But I think anytime you put a teammate in a bad position where they could potentially, get injured, or they might be letting off. So there's a lot of things that go into practice where in a game, you might be doing some of those things. So I think practice is tough. Once you get going, we get those competition periods, and guys want to go out there and compete, which that's something that it's part of the team that we love. We love that competitiveness, and guys want to go out there and fight for everything. And it gets chippy. There's some back and forth between offense and defense. Guys get to talking, so that's football. But I think obviously we got to draw the line when it goes post play.
What did you see on the long one to Golden?
Man. I think they were in man coverage, and MG was on the backside. They did a good job, guarding our front side concept, but just worked back, and he ran a double move, and he did a really good job selling it. It's a play that we actually ran yesterday, a similar play, and I think this one he did a much better job just selling it, committing to the first route before he broke out, and I think that's what helped get him open. And those are the easy ones. You kind of just lob it up there for him, let him go finish it. But he's been doing some really good things.
On the go route in the 1v1, it looked like 24 was all over. When you let that ball go, were you thinking, like, is there any chance he's going to catch this with the coverage? What do you think of that adjustment?
No, so MG was running a go ball on CV, and I think CV did a really good job, kind of pushing him to the sideline, not giving me too much room to throw it. At first when I let it go, I was like, oh man, I missed it too far inside, and those balls, you want to give him a chance outside, but I didn't think there was a chance. I was like, oh, CV's going to pick this one. And MG did a really good job, be able to come back, track the ball inside, and go up and high point that ball. So, I think that's one of his specialties that I've seen so far is just the aggressiveness in his hands, and always going up there and trying to high point the ball. And he's got very strong hands, and he's able to go up and, compete for that ball. So I think that's one of those things that's going to separate him.
Have you seen enough from him yet? I know it's 1 week in the camp, and he's making plays every day. Have you seen enough to have start to build some expectations for what he could give you this season?
Oh, definitely. I think just him coming in here, the way he's putting the work so far. As a rookie, it's going to be a process. It always is. It's just coming in, learning the playbook, understanding the scheme. There's going to be plays you mess up. There's going to be plays you bust. There's going to be plays you kind of run the route the wrong way. So there's just opportunities to learn. But I think for him, he's been doing a great job. He's been in the book, and he's been getting more comfortable with knowing where he needs to be. So let's just keep building that. But I think the playmaking ability is there. You see that. When the ball's in the air, he's going to go get it and make that play. So let's just continue to hone in on the little details and just keep getting better each day.
Jordan, the one you threw to him, I think it was yesterday on the sideline, and he almost wrestled it away from Sean. I think it was to your left. You have to have pretty strong hands to make that catch.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep. No, yeah, that's another one, another instance right there. I throw a ball to the sideline, and Keyshawn does a good job of trying to play through his hands right there, and that's when he went up there and plucked it. So, that's something you love to see. A receiver going up there, having those aggressive hands, just trusting his ability right there to go make that play. And obviously, with Key being able to play through his hands, just to be able to finish that catch, that's a great play. And those are the plays that, we're going to expect from him going forward.
Jordan, looking at even those throws, but even some of the ones that were, intercepted in practice, is this the time of the year where you're wanting to be like even more risky or try to experiment to see what works? Is that like a process that you do when you're practicing?
There's always that fine line as a QB of take care of the football. That's the number one goal at all times is taking care of the ball, making sure the offense, finishes every drive with either, a field goal, a punt, or a touchdown. So ball security is number one. But like you said, as we go through these installs and you're trying new things with plays and you're seeing a lot of different coverages, there's instances where defense has good coverage and you might not see somebody, or the ball placement might be a little off, and those are the things you got to go back in the film room and learn from. Grow from those moments, those instances. But I think the number one job for the quarterback is always ball security. We got to do a good job taking care of it. And that's the main thing. But, training camp, I'd rather throw a pick and practice, learn from it, than go out there and mess up in a game.
What was it like getting Elgton back with you guys, and just the value now of getting those snaps with him, for these practices and what's to come?
Oh, it's awesome, being able to get him back out there, and obviously with him moving from guard to center, it's one of those things we talked about where every rep is valuable to be able to get those snaps and be on the same page. And obviously with him being the guy making all the calls in the run game for the O-line, and just being dialed in with everything. So it's good to have him back out there, and we're going to keep building him up in there. But he's the leader of the O-line room for sure. He's the vet in there, and anytime you get him back out there, it's nice.